Georgia Republican Senator David Perdue joins me now in an exclusive interview. He sits on both the Senate Budget and Armed Services Committees. Good to see you, Senator. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
From your standpoint, where does this go from here?
Well, first of all, this is ridiculous, but the president's on this 24/7. I mean, this is the second Schumer shutdown we've had just this year. The president of the Democrats earlier this week had a deal at $1.6 billion for border security, and the Democrats walked away because Pelosi felt like the Republicans couldn't pass it in the House. We not only passed it in the House, but we passed it at a $5 billion border security package with $8 billion disaster relief. Remember, though, that just early this year, Democrats, 44 Democrats in the Senate, voted for a $25 billion border security package. So, Maria, this is not about a number. This is about the Democrats not wanting the president to actually follow through on his commitment to secure that southern border.
You're saying the 44 Democrats that voted for border security was what, in an immigration bill? When did they vote for?
Absolutely. Senator Collins had an immigration bill. It was up side by side. Senator Cotton and I had another bill up at the same time, and there was a $25 billion funding piece in that bill that 44 Democrats actually voted for. And honestly, disaster relief has also always been a bipartisan issue in the Senate. They're just trying to play politics with the security of our country, Maria, and the president's going to the mat on this one. But I will say this. I was on the phone with him last night for over an hour. I was in the White House Friday. We've convinced Vice President Pence and Mulvaney to get involved, and they've been brokering this. The Vice President was actually at the Capitol past 9:30 Friday night. He was over here yesterday. We had the Senate open. I actually presided for a little while in the Senate yesterday to keep it open to try to get to a solution this weekend.
So you think that they're just not agreeing to anything that even remotely sounds like or looks like a wall because it would be a campaign promise that this president actually delivered on? You think that's all this is about?
Maria, I had over half a dozen Senate Democrats tell me just Friday that if we called it anything but a wall, they'd be all for it. This is ridiculous. If President of the United States, President Trump, said he didn't want border security, he didn't want any money for the wall, the Democrats would be all over him telling him, oh, no, we've got to do that. So this is all about resisting Trump and not taking care of the business that we have as a Senate. Let me remind your viewers, though, that the reason we're here with a partial shutdown, though, is because we stayed here in August and funded 75% of the budget this year, the discretionary budget, which includes defense, health, education, and other issues. What's remaining mostly is the Homeland Security piece, which is mostly essential. The other thing that your viewers should be comfortable with is that the payrolls that go out on the 28th of this month are going out no matter what. So independent of what we do this week, that payroll is going to be met. It just shows, though, that this president's trying this weekend to get to a deal with the Democrats.
Yeah, that's just incredible. So how does this play out in your view? I mean, do you think the government opens this upcoming week when the Senate gets back on Thursday? What's your expectation here?
I think we'll get to a deal this week. I talked to the president last night. He wants that. I think Senator Schumer has actually been dealing this week. It's just that at the end of the day, they backed up from what they had already agreed to. I'm hopeful that cooler heads will prevail. We'll get to some number between 1.6 and 5 billion on that. Nobody's arguing about the disaster relief package, so I think we're just about there. If we would both just recognize this is not about politics, it's about the security of our country.
So, in other words, you'll get to a deal likely more than 1.6 but less than 5, and you won't call it a wall. Is that
I don't care what we call it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care what we call it. Neither does the president. The president's actually talking about different. But what we want is barriers, just like we see in other parts of the world. I was in Israel last year, and they have similar situation there, and they do that. Other countries do the same thing. And as a matter of fact, Maria, in most countries, the military has a responsibility for the sovereignty of their borders. In the United States, we have Homeland Security, so we give them the responsibility. But the military can have a play in this as well.
All right, we will leave it there. Senator, we'll be watching the developments. Really incredible content here. We will see you soon, sir. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Maria.
David.